What do you consider to be the biggest scam that is completely normalized by society? The easy to join, difficult to cancel subscription model. California is actually passing legislation to ban this in the state. Detox drinks. Retox is way more fun. If only the body had a way of filtering out toxins. Well, now you're just taking the piss. Ticketmaster. Frick Ticketmaster. On a similar note, booking fees for tickets. Is the ticket not a booking fee? Oh my god. Showcase Cinema in the UK really pisses me off with this. I go to the website, I browse the films, I choose the seats, I enter all my details and I even print the freaking ticket. Yet you add a FKN admin fee. What freaking admin? I did everything. Call it a convenience fee. Like it's convenient you want to buy these tickets online, that'll be an extra 3%. How good are the added handling fees and postage fees even though the tickets are all digital? Don't forget about the convenience fee. Because it's so convenient for them to make money off customer for absolutely nothing. Companies not disclosing salaries on job listings and encouraging staff not to discuss pay. It only benefits the employer, but everyone goes along with it. Also, pay range is $70,000 $90,000, dependent on skills and experience. Spend 40+ hours filling out their online resume. Phone interview number 1. Phone interview number 2. Zoom interview. In-person interview number 1. In-person interview number 2. Follow-up call number 1. Follow-up call number 2. You far exceed their requirements in experience, education, and industry knowledge. They send you an offer letter. Congratulations, we would like to offer you the position starting at $60,000 per year. Make a counteroffer while including a quote of their $70,000 $90,000 range. Justify why you should get at least $90. Receive an email stating we are sorry, but that range was a mistake. It isn't for this specific position. The best we can do is $68,000. Total scam to get better talents to apply. I have had this happen twice. I've had a similar thing happen, but with job title. The position posted regional manager and during the interview they straight up said we put that title in the ad to attract candidates. This actually is not a manager level job. I was like, great, thanks for wasting my time. Printer ink. Every single company that sells printers sells them at a loss. They then make up their profits by making their ink cost an arm and a leg. They even put special chips on each cartridge that will tell the printer not to work if it has been refilled. Then you have printers that can't scan when the ink is out. I hate that. Looking at you, HP. Ink has nothing to do with scanning. I got so frustrated with that I just take pics of stuff on my phone now and save those to my computer. Frick printers. All my homies use quills. You're just giving even more power to Big Quill. He prefers Star-Lord. Funerals. Paying for things like caskets for your loved ones when you're at possibly the most emotionally vulnerable that you could be. When I'm dead, just throw me in the trash. The whole thing really. All of it. The lot. The funeral industry. You have to spend thousands of dollars to get rid of a body, because otherwise you're disrespecting it. My parents have told me whatever is the cheapest way to dispose of the body, do that, and then invite the friends to a party to remember us. That's exactly how I feel. Would be happy to donate any organs if they're viable, and or become a medical cadaver, but then just dispose of the corpse as medical waste. If you find this disgusting or disrespectful, that's because preserving a corpse with toxic embalming fluid and then putting it in a concrete vault under the ground has been, as in the question, normalized by society. I want my remains spread at Disney World. Also, I do not want to be cremated. I want my head used as a prop in Haunted Mansion. Extended car warranties. Good thing I got mine extended over the phone. Whoa, they finally reached you. Insulin prices in USA. I did a research project for my science class and learned that the man who discovered insulin didn't patent it because he wanted everyone who needed it to have it. When inventor Frederick Banting discovered insulin in 1923, he refused to put his name on the patent. He felt it was unethical for a doctor to profit from a discovery that would save lives.
Banting's co-inventors, James Collop and Charles Best, sold the insulin patent to the University of Toronto for a mere $1. They wanted everyone who needed their medication to be able to afford it. It was patented, because if they didn't patent it then someone else less ethical could have. If it were today they could have used something from the open source movement or Creative Commons to ensure that no one could ever patent and profit from it, but there was no way to do something like that with intellectual property at that time. Sold the formula for $1. The majority of plastic recycling in the US. Not only did corporations pass off the burden of dealing with it to the consumer while they just produce more and more every year, the majority of plastic beyond pop bottles isn't even actually recyclable and will end up being shipped to small South Asian countries where it will be burned. It's a huge scam. Metal and glass recycling still kind of works in some areas, but where fresh water is scarce everything is net negative environmentally speaking, even paper. Thank you for the awards and all, but for real, please do your best to conserve, reduce, and do what makes sense environmentally for your specific region. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to conserve fresh water. The environmental costs of the impending upcoming freshwater shortage in parts of the world will far outweigh any impacts from lack of recycling. In Cleveland, someone put GPS trackers in their recycling and found it was going straight to the dump. Guess we haven't truly recycled here in years and yet people can get fined for not putting recycling out using recycling bins wrong. Were the GPS trackers recyclable? It came out earlier this week that much of the UK's plastic waste is being dumped in Turkey. I've been recycling for over 20 years and this really makes me wonder if it is worth it. All this tracking happening with everything on the internet. Social networks, ads, our banks, our phones with all those sensors. Everything is tracking us and collects information about us and they use it in some spooky ways. Either way I'd be happier if I at least could have more control over it or even maybe could make money from the data about me myself. When you really see how deep this goes it kinda feels like something from 1984. Oh, and also the ever-growing attempts of companies to go against ownership and to keep control over everything even after RWE buy it. What pisses me off is that they have all this information about me and still are terrible at advertising to me. They waste so much money showing me ads for things that I'll never want, or even stuff that I literally can't consume. If I file my taxes, I still get endless ads for H&R Block. If I vote early, I still get endless political ads. I buy a computer from someone, they immediately start sending me ads, as if I'm going to buy another $1,000 computer from them a week later. It's so incredibly wasteful, because apparently their algorithms aren't nearly as smart as they seem to think. Job listings where it's written no experience required, but then you keep reading and they go like 2 years plus experience required to get this job. And the failure to list the salary for the role, so that they can check out what you're already on and offer you the lowest they can get away with. Everyone knows that's exactly what's happening, no matter how many bullshit LinkedIn posts might try to pretend otherwise. Just pony up the salary and be open about what you're going to pay, you freaking cheapskates. Also, the freaking irony of these same frikers requiring great communication skills is for the role they advertise, while simultaneously concealing the salary. That is, the most important aspect of the job. I had 3 interviews with a big accounting company for a specialist role. At every stage I asked about salary and was told it was extremely competitive. I also refused to tell them what I was currently making. We get right to the end. They say they are interested in hiring me and then tell me the salary. It was 40% less than I was currently on. And this was a higher ranked position, with more responsibility and people management required. I told them that no, they needed to rethink that and that they'd never get anyone remotely qualified for that money. They told me I had wasted everyone's time. The idea that employees are obliged to have some kind of loyalty to an employer. The employer has paid for your services. They will drop you like a hot cake if they find someone cheaper. You cannot question that. Yet, if an employee shows the slightest bit of disloyalty then, bang, it is not about the double standard of it. It is that employers dismissing employees is seen as normal, but employees dismissing employers is an outrage.
That is the bit that is normalized. The entire concept of tax season. There is no reason as individuals we need to jump through all these hoops and in some cases pay exorbitant fees to have someone do our personal income tax filings. The gov already knows the exact amount you owe. So why do we do it this way? Companies like TurboTax and lobbying groups representing tax lawyers have argued for years that we Americans prefer doing our taxes this way and that it's better for society when they, tax companies, can charge citizens for it. Seriously, it's a total racket. Having to calculate our own taxes as US citizens. Freemium. The fact that there's a word for it shows just how much we've normalized it. Everyone hates it, but it's still a fact of life now. It's reached the point where I don't even bother downloading new apps half the time if they say in-app purchases, because half of them are unusable without a subscription. When did it become not good enough to just outright buy our product and be able to use it?